There is a famous shloka, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopala Nandanam. This is about Bhagavad Gita, the song of God. What is this Bhagavad Gita? We all hear that Bhagavad Gita is the manual for our life. And this knowledge is not, specific to a time, a community, a place. This is eternal knowledge, which is true, which is fresh always. So let's quickly recall some of the important points of this amazing text called Bhagavad Gita. And I would like to thank Swami Mukundanand for having taught us the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with so much of clarity. We are all students, but then a fellow student needs the words of another student to check about his progress, whether he is doing the right steps to learn this knowledge. What an amazing text. If we learn the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we have learned all the knowledge. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. This is the king of all the sciences, Raj Vidya Yoga. So this Bhagavad Gita, which is an amazing compilation of 18 chapters, Arjun Vishad Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Gyan Karma, Sannyas Yoga, Karma Sannyas Yoga, and Dhyan Yoga. These are the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita which talk about the Karma Yoga, it talks about the Dhyan, the Buddhi, etc. And the next set of the 6 chapters, which is Gyan Vigyan Yoga, chapter 7, chapter 8, Akshar Brahma Yoga, chapter 9, Raj Vidya Yoga, chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, chapter 11, Vishwarup Darshan Yoga, and chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. There we learn about bhakti, the process of devotion, the science of devotion. And the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, which is about the Tattva Gyan, it tells us the entire knowledge in details, the fundamental knowledge, the basic knowledge which we need to know. Those 6 chapters are chapter 13, Kshetra Kshetragya Vibhag Yoga, chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhag Yoga, chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga, chapter 16, Daivashur Sampad Vibhag Yoga, chapter 17, Shraddha Traya Vibhag Yoga, and chapter 18, Moksha Sannyas Yoga. So what are the nuggets from Bhagavad Gita which we should remember very, very clearly? Now we are in the International Yoga Day, 21st January. We are all going to remember the benefits of yoga through this celebration called the International Day of Yoga. But actually yoga is to be followed every day. And why every day? Yoga is to be implemented every moment. Yog, it is not yoga, it is yog. Yog is to be implemented every moment. What is yog? Yog is union with God. And I think most of us have clarity about that. Yog is not just doing exercises which are yogasanas or pranayam, which are the breathing techniques. Yog is the 8 limbs of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. Yam and Niyam, personal and social rules. Asan, the physical exercises like the palm tree pose, the crocodile pose, Tadasan, Makarasan, Halasan, and Mayurasan and Bhujangasan, all those poses are the asanas. And then the pranayam, the breathing techniques. Pran is not air and oxygen. Pran is the life air, the subtle body. Pran, Apan, Udan, Vyan, Saman. So we learn about prana, and we expand our prana, which is so important for the health of our body and mind. So that is what we do in pranayam. We expand the prana by using the techniques called Anulom Vilom, Kapal Bhati, alternate nostril breathing, bellows breathing, bhastrika, brahmari, bumblebee, etc. And then pratyahar, how to control our desires, because these unnecessary desires are the cause of our suffering. That's the prime teaching of Buddhism also. You know, suffering is real. There is a cause for the suffering. The suffering can be reduced by reducing the desires, and suffering can be eliminated by total control on desires. This is the golden rules from Buddhism. This knowledge comes from Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is telling the same. Bhagavad Gita is telling apuryamanam achala pratistham samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat sakama pravishanti sarve sashantim apnoti nakamakami. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 shloka 70 is telling, like the thousands and thousands of rivers and streams are entering the ocean, but the ocean remains calm. Similarly, what is the mind of a yogi? The mind of the yogi is the one, though it is bombarded by so many desires, but then it remains in control. It doesn't get affected. Like the ocean remains calm, the mind of the yogi remains undisturbed. That is the prime lesson from Bhagavad Gita, how to achieve the mind of a yogi. Now, is this yoga possible without considering the importance of the one with which we have to associate? And that is the divinity, that is the God in whatever form we know him. Whether we call him Krishna or Rama or Allah or Khuda or Ahur Mazda or Sat Sri Akal or Alak Niranjan or Shunya, that is the privilege of what we have been following. But then there is the supreme absolute truth. That reality has to be understood if we are talking about yoga, if we are talking about yoga. Otherwise, it becomes only an obsession with doing exercises and breathing techniques, which is not the full meaning of yoga. And when I came into the practices of yoga, I acquired some certificates, etc. I found out that most of the yoga studios are only emphasizing on the exercises and the breathing techniques. And what about dhyan? What about pratyahar? What about dharana? What about samadhi? So that is the teaching I'm learning from Swami Mukundanand, and very tempted to share, because otherwise we may go into a different track. So when we are doing the sadhana, doing the practice of Formula 44 and Formula 21, Formula 44 means 1 fistful of nuts, the 4 food habits, 1 fistful of nuts, 2 helpings of fruits, 3 glasses of warm water in the morning, 4 helpings of vegetables, grains, pulses, beans, etc. And the 4 types of exercises, these are the daily practices: 1 hour of meditation, 2 rounds of walk, 3 rounds of breathing techniques, and 4 rounds of exercises, sun salutation, etc. When we are practicing that, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is so important. So the nuggets from Bhagavad Gita are these, in my opinion. As a student, I am sharing, and you can also apply and see for yourself how these apply to you. So the one nugget I shared, apuryamanam achala pratistham, about the analogy with the sea. Then Bhagavad Gita is telling vihaya kaman yah sarvan pumans charti nispriya. It talks about that desires, that is the cause for our suffering, the attachment. So should we discard desires? No. We have to turn the nature of desires into the divine, into the one which is the real, eternal, the ocean of bliss. But then we ignore that and we want to lord over the material nature, lord over the material by our own whims and fancies, without realizing the basic principle of Bhagavad Gita, which is Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manushmar Yuddhecha. If the entire Bhagavad Gita is to be described in one simple line, our Sri Maharaji says that line is Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manushmar Yuddhecha. Arjun, fight your battle, do your duties, but don't lose the sight of the divine, of God, of Sri Krishna. And in whichever form you know God, that has to be there in our mind. Otherwise, that disconnection will take us into the material side, which is the cause of our suffering. So, Bhagavad Gita is to train the mind and connect with the divinity, connect with God, connect with Sri Krishna, the author of Bhagavad Gita, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. Why is he telling that Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmar Yuddhacha, you Arjun, please don't forget me. So in one word, if you describe Bhagavad Gita, it is about connecting the mind to God. That's the only way to overcome the challenges of Maya. Otherwise, the material world is a blazing forest where we are subjected to Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Moh, Matsar, Rag, Dves, Irsha, Ahankar, etc. Lust, greed, anger, jealousy, envy, pride, arrogance, attachment, etc. So the only way to overcome these challenges is to remember this nugget, that for a moment, don't forget Sri Krishna, don't forget God, don't forget the one whom you worship, the divine. And the only do is remember all the time, and the only don't is don't forget even for a moment. So this is the prime knowledge, and that's why Bhagavad Gita is called the essence of all Upanishads. This is the words of God, and Bhagavad Gita is teaching us so many nuggets about the health, about the work-life balance. For example, Bhagavad Gita is telling, yuktahar viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta sapnava bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. You want to achieve the success in yoga, you have to have the moderation, the balance in eating, the balance in recreation, the balance in sleep, and the balance in your efforts. That balance is so important. Then Bhagavad Gita is telling, Uddared Atman Atmanam na Atmanam avsadayat. Atmanaiva yatmano bandhuratmaiva ripuratmanha. Your mind is so important. By controlling your mind and by taking it to the right direction, you can elevate yourself to the highest. But by losing control of the mind, by letting the mind going into the negative direction, we can bring our disaster. So all the depression, the anger, the frustration, the fear is a creation of our own mind. And we unnecessarily blame the external factors. That is not the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is telling, you have the ability, you have the facility to train your mind and reach the highest. So let's attempt doing that. And the Lord is telling, I am always with you, with a sadhak, with an aspirant who is connected to me. He says that in chapter 10, in chapter 9, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupaste tesham nitya bhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So much to learn from Bhagavad Gita. We don't want the video to be more than 15 minutes, so I have to stop. But then, let us remember the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manushmar yuddhecha. If we forget everything else, let us remember that remembrance is the one which Sri Krishna recommends. This is what is recommended in Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana. This is the essence of all religion, that surrender your mind and intellect to God. Then only we can face the challenges of the world. We can understand what life is all about. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita says, this material world is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Ashashvatam dukkhalayam. There is the reality of death, the old age, and the disease. No one can eliminate. So, but then if we know that we are not the body, we are the soul, then we don't have the fear, we don't have the frustration. We know that the soul is eternal. We don't die. We change from one body to another. That is the real knowledge. There is nothing to feel so daunted, to feel so depressed, to feel so despondent. Bhagavad Gita has an answer. And that's the true meaning of yoga. So let's discover that. Let's keep discovering that in our videos. during this yoga international festivity. Thank you so much.